Please don't forget the money, man.
I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous. I love America, but she's so dangerous. Somebody call her Superman, I am made of kryptonite. The bulls say it's child time, what we about to eat tonight. What happened on Epstein Island, did it really take your life? I'm deeper than the ocean floor and higher than a satellite. Yes, I am an alchemist, I murder rubble skin, but with no religion. It's the return of the ancient Egyptians. West Coast, California, my family is Riverside. In the Empire, none of ain't a lullaby. This is where the gods dwell and a lot of mothers cry. You can feel the thunder cry. Choctaw Nation, future chief on the rise. From a different dimension, Star Trek Enterprise. I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous. I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, cause you are now tuned in to What is the Matrix TV. I'm your host, Jason Elm Street Williams, and let's get it started. It's the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl. And this week, we're getting into it. Is this a circus, ladies and gentlemen? Are Black people hypnotized through entertainment? Are you guys watching the social media craze over a hip-hop halftime performance as if Kendrick Lamar done freed the slaves? Are Black people under mind control, acting like a halftime show? This freed us as a people? What is going on with the planes crashing all over the world? What is going on with the food recall? But first, I'm going to introduce my co-host, the wonderful, great JoJo, and the beautiful goddess, Lana.
Hey, hold on, brother. Hold on. You forgot to say JoJo the Great.
And we got JoJo the Great.
There it is.
Rewind.
There it is.
So let's
How
get
y'all
into
doing
it.
today, bros?
I'm doing good, brother. What's good with you?
Man, I'm happy to be a part. It's been a good day. Got to the gym early this morning. I stayed committed to what I challenged you guys last week to, waking up early, committing yourself to the gym, wake up before, Jesus and all the other so-called gods who was out there.
And what about you, Lana?
I'm doing really well. I follow what you said, JoJo. I went ahead and gym, so I'm a little tired, but I'm here.
So what do
It's
you
the best
guys
place
feel?
to be.
So what do you guys feel? We got the Super Bowl picture with Kendrick Lamar. Did you guys happen to watch that, or should we get started with a quick video? Because
Hold
last week okay.
I was going to say, before you get flagged, because I actually gave that some thought, you can go over the slides of it and go off of that, so that way they don't have to be saying, oh, yeah, midway through all that hard work and lecture, we're just going to cut you up. Not today, Satan. Not today.
Right. So we're going to play a Washita Murs. So everyone's talking about the Kendrick Lamar performance, but I have yet only one person, which is me, on the internet post the opening act, the opening ceremony before the game for the first time ever on national TV on the NFL. They showed the Black Indians. So it's no longer a debate. It's no longer a question. It's a fact. It's a true story. The NFL during Super Bowl and recognize the Washita Murs on TV. Let's get into it. Look at the Washita Murs on stage at the Super Bowl, y'all. The Black Indians of Louisiana. Wow. They showed the Washita Mirth on national TV. And I just spoke of that. Look at that, y'all. Beautiful. That is beautiful. They showed it.
Hey, real quick, brother Jason. You know how TV is called television?
Yes.
If you break it down, it says television. And what vision do you think they were telling when they showed that game of tic-tac-toe? And then they showed Samuel Jackson in that suit right there you just passed by. So then after they have us listening to the song that's been running that all started from the Drake beat or the Drake beef, because mind you, Kendrick only really caught traction after he annihilated Drake, right? So then now you find yourself here, and I'm just questioning what vision are they telling?
Far as with the Washita Mirth or with Kendrick Lamar, you
No,
done jumped.
I mean like everything. So they show you the Moors, and then they show you this tic tac board, and then they show what's his face dressed as the Monopoly guy.
Well,
right?
I took it as Samuel L. played the Black Devil, because we know the Black Hand. We're dealing with black devils, black men in power who done sold out. You know, and I could get into real detail about really religion, the God of, Yahshua or Yahweh and the Israelites and all those, as far as the black devil and his followers. But to me, it's showing this is America, to where one, we have Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam. And who is Sam? Another code for Lucifer or the devil. So right there,
conceptually speaking, like when it shows that checkered or that tic-tac-toe, and then it shows him as that person or the Monopoly board, it really just in a shortened form really is showing us that black people, we have you playing the game. And mind you, in the movie Django, he was the same very person who got mad when the master died. He had his arms wrapped around him and was crying and said, "Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me." And the fucked up part is, even though I know Cub might be on the bad side, I still love motherfucker. You know, I can never forget that. It kills me inside. But I'm just saying, that's the same person who was the Uncle Tom. And then now look what he has you guys playing and dressed as right over the whole entire game, as if though, man, they told you in all these television shows, man, they making us, we the ones who are making this big ass game keep on going in a fucking circle.
That's what we speak of. We speak of going in that circle and that loopy-loo every year. It's that same ritual of some sort of, Super Bowl. You got holidays. We talk about all that. So yeah, this is part of the loopy-loop. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I only saw
because back in the day, man, they were selling them niggas for them games as much as they could. Even in the movie Django, it showed you what they paid for them niggas to do to each other. They beat each other down until the death, and they would sit there and watch.
Well, look at it. Like you said, it's a Super Bowl, brothers. People going at each other, even though we know we played sports back in the day. But also, like you said, Kendrick, he blew up through going to war with another brother. Whether people want to say Dre is mixed or amalgamated brother or not, I also took it as the dragon. For me, I teach that Drake is an extraterrestrial, a humanoid extraterrestrial walking amongst you. And that's why Aubrey says his name is Drake. Who is Drake? The Draconians. Learn about the Draconians, the humanoid reptile extraterrestrials. It's no coincidence that Drake is the Toronto Raptors mascot and the Raptors. the sixth god, the owl, all these, the dragon, and then him coming at Michael in his death. So when it talks about the X's and O's, he's talking about the game, like JoJo was saying. This is a game by the record labels and those who control Hollywood. That's why Drake was trying to expose his own game with the lawsuit. He was saying that the machine makes people famous, makes songs blow up, and at the end of the day, it's exposing America is under mind control through entertainment, through
So you
music,
know those. Hold on. So you
religion,
know
and
those.
entertainment.
You know those industry plants, like where we have I Spies, we have all these new artists and stuff go like that. Now I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with you and say I don't think he's a lizard, but I'm just saying all black people have a little lizard in us. Just saying, but at the same time, I always think about these industry plants, and it's like these people are just people, but they play whatever role, whatever is told. Like a lot of these rappers who are on some drill shit ain't even really like that. You go talk to them and they're docile, they're low down, they're cool. And most of these people, if you ever really watch the history on them, all come from they're homeless. You ever notice that? How they take these homeless people and these plants and then they make them these big people just like they did Drake, just like they did Ice Spice, just like they did Miguel, just like they did The Weeknd, just like that. The list goes on. They keep on making these people play whatever role, at least it is. That's why they're called actors.
No,
Are
you
you
hit it
saying
on.
these are actors, Jojo? Are you saying these people up here aren't
I
real?
I think that everyone you see playing this weird ass game are just like Samuel Jackson in the movie Django, where you get a little bit of movement and you're under this conceptual idea or this fictitious idea like you have some bit of power. Diddy in that hip hop circle was amongst the highest in the financial pool and still got cracked as soon as he went against the master's will. If he never would have pulled that shit with Ciroc, it never would have been a problem what he doing on them freakans. Never would have been spoken of. Never would have been. So my point is, just like Samuel in that picture, I think all of them are just playing the game. They're just people just playing the game. Some of them I don't believe are human. Some of them I think are in this reality where they realize that's why I don't move. That's why I don't say shit. That's why I don't be wilding out, is because if y'all knew exactly what I know and who is who and what is what, not all of us are like that. But for those who are not like that, we stay in our place for a reason. It's like that movie, Men in Black. Only the officers knew what to say, and they would respond, but they never would
Now
know
look at
unless
this.
someone.
So let's get into the commercial. So we know
Thank you.
that they pay millions of dollars for these Super Bowl commercials, right, JoJo? So you were talking about actors being aliens, and I would tell people back in the day when they said I was crazy, I'd be like, "Yo, I used to see these dudes shapeshift." The majority of your super famous actors, athletes are extraterrestrials. So let's watch this Super Bowl commercial. The first one's going to be about liquid death. And then we're going to talk about how they're poisoning the population and advertising death. But then the next commercial, watch how they
This one,
laugh.
hold on, before you play it, this one threw me too because as soon as I watched it, I said, "Oh shit, Jason's gonna have a field day with this one. He's gonna be like, I fucking told you, they lied."
Watch it,
Push
y'all.
play, man.
So, especially with athletes who are always under controversy, doing crazy special things at certain ages, and they look older. All these things that surround certain athletes and actors is for a reason. So now they're mocking us. Watch it.
You filming this?
Turn it up. We can't hear it.
Wow.
You made contact with a new alien species, and apparently they're foodies.
The worst.
We'll need you to cook for them. You'll have access to top secret cooking technology.
Wait.
He's basically telling him, you're going to be a chef for
Pan was
these
developed
people.
using material from an
And
alien
he's like, no,
spacecraft.
we got this
We don't
off
have
of
time
some
for a science lesson, Mr. Ramsey. The alien ambassador is already here.
from
Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude? You're an alien?
All famous people are aliens.
I'm not.
I meant like really famous people.
All right, Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Tom.
Step aside.
Who put these in, Tom? Only Duracell has power boost ingredients. That's why runners like Tom here only run on Duracell. Tom, are you okay? Why does everyone keep asking me that since the roast? I gotta go Gronk's down again.
And we're going to show it one more time with no interruption. Watch it. Watch the liquid death and how they're promoting death and commercializing liquid water with poison in it. And watch how they joke about extraterrestrial technology being used today in front of you, whether it's your cell phone, some of your cooking utensils, and then watch how they laugh when Ramsey said, well, I'm famous. He was like, no.
I was trying to tell you, bro. Turn it up because we couldn't hear it.
At all?
No,
It's
like it's
kinda
really, really
faint.
muffled down.
I
Faint.
can't control it. Darn it. Let me see if I can do this.
Maybe if all of us mute ourselves.
Okay. So here we go. One more time. Mute yourself.
You filming this?
You made contact with a new alien species, and apparently they're foodies.
The worst.
We'll need you to cook for them. You'll have access to top secret cooking technology.
Wait, that's just a Hexclad pan. I've got these at home.
The pan was developed using material from an alien spacecraft.
What?
We don't have time for a science lesson, Mr. Ramsey. The alien ambassador is already here. Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude? You're an alien?
All famous people are aliens.
I'm not.
I meant like really famous people.
All right, Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Tom.
Step aside.
Who put these in, Tom? Only Duracell has power boost ingredients. That's why runners like Tom here only run on Duracell. Tom, are you okay? Why does everyone keep asking me that since the roast? I gotta go Gronk's down again.
Hey man,
Can't
just
hear
like
you.
that show. Just
Can't
like
hear you,
that.
Jason.
He was muted.
But once again, why would someone spend millions of dollars to show you and make a joke about extraterrestrials controlling the world, giving humans technology, there being a secret base called Area 51, and celebrities being extraterrestrials still having control over humans? Wouldn't that make sense if an extraterrestrial race wanted to rule over humans, that they would make themselves in power, just like a celebrity, a politician, your favorite basketball, football player, your favorite rappers, actresses, and rule the world that way? What do you guys think when they show you clips in movies and commercials with extraterrestrials and humans being around each other and it being real, not fake?
Well, obviously they're showing us in our face, obviously, what they're doing. But I want to touch on the liquid death, because that's something, if you follow my page on She Makes Sense on Facebook, I post things that, make sense. So I always wondered liquid death when I saw that in the grocery stores along with impossible meat. They're telling you in your face exactly what it is. Why would you drink something that says liquid death? If you look up water, you'll find out water is like an extraterrestrial. It can change into different forms. It also holds information. So if you read or see that commercial, they're telling you to what does it say? To drink at the job? Drink on, they're telling you what to do. It holds information, and it's like a spell, and people run out and spend their hard-earned money and go invest in a company that's telling you what they're about to do if you drink it.
Oh, wait, let me add to this. So I was in the store. Can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
Can you hear me? Okay, so I was I want you to read this. Liquid death, back of can writing. This is mind you, basically what it says is everyone on this one can prays to a satanic being, and they put a spell on it so that it gives you guys powers or whatever. That's why the mantra of the whole entire episodes, or at least the brand, is kind of like death. They're like some Death Reaper type shit. But if you guys read the back of the can, I'm trying to Google it while I'm on here. Hold on.
Yes, we're living beings. We shouldn't be partaking or putting anything that's dead inside of our bodies if we're living.
Okay, I found it, guys. You guys ready? The infinity recyclable can of stone cold sparkling water came straight from the Alps to murder your thirst. When a group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend or drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they became haunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirst and recycling their souls. Once cracked open, no thirst is safe from liquid death. After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this brutal can of water used the severed body parts of a dead thirst to build itself a flesh suit. What the fuck? Which is used as a disguise to get a job in marketing, but liquid death never took the job. It just murdered a bunch more thirsts instead. Ingredients: mountain water, CO2. Oh, you found the same picture as I did. Yes, there you go.
So we have it right there. So once again, so what did you get from that, JoJo? Is it saying that it's killing people? When a group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they became hunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirst and recycling their souls. Once cracked, no thirst is safe from liquid death. After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this water used to severed body parts of the dead thirst to build itself a flesh suit, which it used as disguise to get a job in marketing. But liquid death never took the job. It just murdered a bunch more thirsts instead. And then it has the ingredients in the back. If you guys could see it: carbonated mountain water, agave nectar, lime extract, acid, natural flavor,
Which is
lime.
actually dehydrating. So if you're taking liquid death on a hike in the woods, you're not going to be hydrated. You're going to get dehydrated. And water, people can drown in a pool from water, right? So water can kill you. It changes into different forms. So when they put writing on those cans with that liquid in there, they're basically speaking that over that can. So you're drinking all those spells and you're putting it inside of your living body. And that liquid pretty much goes in there just like an extraterrestrial. It can shapeshift. You know what I'm saying? That's why with my juices, that's what I do with my juice, but I speak life into the juice because it holds a frequency. And so, yeah, we talked about frequencies, I think, last week and how important frequencies are. So, yes, this liquid death and the impossible meat, I don't know if you got that commercial, but those different foods, huh?
Oh, one of the people in the comments, Mr. G1, said Read Dr. Masaru Emoto's book called The Message in Water. He conducted an experiment study that shows improves water has memory.
Yes. That's a good book. I've heard of that doctor also, and that's something that I want to get into. So thank you for that recommendation.
So go ahead, Goddess. We were listening.
No, so yeah, when I saw that, I just thought, wow, and I was in the store and I saw these young brown skinned girls. They were young, probably in their 20s, and they noticed it and they said the same thing. They're like, there's no way I'd put that in my body. And I stopped and I had to say something like, I'm glad you guys noticed that, because it's not, it's not funny when you go to the store and you see how they're purposely, they're getting really bold with it, y'all. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the names of the food and stuff like that is just straight up in your face. So we have to be mindful of what we're purchasing for ourselves and for our children, because they're watching us and they're copying us.
Have you guys ever seen a movie called Cadaver?
No.
The premise of the movie was they were playing this game, and the game was they're all actors, right? You're going to be invited to this palace where everyone in there, like everything you see is fake. People were getting raped, people were getting abused, this, but none of it was real. So they give them all this food, and they don't really know what the food is, but they have an ample amount of it. By the end of the movie, out of all the horrors that were inside of the movie, the ample horror of it all was they were eating human flesh. They would take people from these camps or these entertainments, and they would put them in blenders and kind of like make them into like what you call impossible meat, making things that aren't even supposed to be in your body taste just like fucking chicken. But it reminds me, like that topic, it reminds me of Cadaver, where people are playing this game. And then in the course of you playing this game, you're eating these things. And then after you find out you're spending your whole life trying to eat what they eat, you find out I'm literally eating parts and dismembered body. What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're being changed. They're altering our environment, y'all.
Yes.
We are being altered so the extraterrestrials can walk amongst us in physical form like they do. Go study human suits, y'all. They're altering so-called humans. They have to do us as the original beings first to do it on the humans. They're changing the sky. They're changing the air. They're changing the food. I always go to Demolition Man to where the war is going to be over the food. Because if they shut down the grocery stores, it was all planned, just like they did the grocery stores to take out us having our own gardens and our own farms, just like they brought in the supermarkets and the malls. The malls took away from the mom and pops shops and people creating their own clothes. Same with the video stores. It came Blockbuster. Then it came fast food, which broke down the families sitting down and eating together, loving one another. And then they put poison in the food. So we're being murdered. We're being killed, y'all. And they're using entertainment to distract us. And particularly original people. I've never seen so-called Black people so hyped for something other than entertainment. It's like, and I get it, and I love the art factor, but when it comes to these type of topics, this is what we need to be on. So I'm listening.
You know what, real quick too, that's the other thing I was thinking of. These are, like you said, we're at war with a parasite. So when I see Liquid Death and I see the different names that they have, I think one of them was called something Cherry Obituary. What was it? Dead Billionaire. Like, come on now. Those are frequencies. Those are actually parasites. You're putting it in your body, and that parasite latches on, to your nerves. It latches on to different parts. It switches the way you think. They control you. They're like they're highly intelligent bots, and they get in and they can control the way you think. They can change your taste buds. So I noticed when, we went to we've been going to the farmers market every Saturday, and I love it. That's our favorite pastime. And there's a guy there, and he serves they're microgreens. and you just munch on them. And most people, if they look at that, they say, oh, that's rabbit food, or it's nasty, I don't like it. It's because they've adjusted the metals in our taste to the point where when we eat food we're supposed to, it doesn't taste the same, because they're altering everything. So it's important. And I tell people, they think I'm crazy, and that's cool, but we have to get into the art of fasting. We have to learn how to fast so that we can starve those parasites out as much as possible.
Real quick, it's really, really funny we're talking about this. So to both of you guys, because I want both of you guys' vocal spoken opinion. We always talk about, the slavery and, the emancipation and things like that, and just, Black people lifting each other up. But in this circumstance, when the Super Bowl is projected on a lot of more people, like a lot of people still were doing what they were doing. And it was crazy because, in my opinion, I actually interpreted the liquid death before we got to this big conversation actually was the alcohol. When you go to those games, everyone drinks. That's why there's a lot of fights. That's why there's a lot of arguments, right? So I thought that the liquid death in subliminal was like, we're going to make you drink and we're going to make you play the game. That's how my mind put it. But after we're talking about everything we're talking about now, what do you guys think about to everyone else? Because it seems like this programming is affecting the whole planet. It's not just a like.
And then the artwork, they said that not just his performance, but the art of dance and the subliminal messaging when people look back at the performance, the way the dancers were dancing, that it's enslavement. Of course, he had the little chain, the A minor, the pedophilia, they said. The guy was running across the stage. They tried to right there. Let me pass this commercial. My bad, y'all. And then you got, what's the name? Post Malone. He was able to infiltrate hip hop, and look how he really is. And they are talking bad about Beyonce. This is before he gets to Not Like Us poetry. And here's Samuel Jackson. It might mess up our feed, but let's see what he said.
One life.
And then they got the Scissor song. And one last one. I think Samuel, and we'll get back to the conversation, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoying the show still. And did he perform They Not Like Us after this? Oh, here he goes. Us. And so, but yeah, y'all, let's get back to the show.
Didn't it start off with him playing like what he was like in a tic-tac-toe?
Yeah, it says game
And
over.
then it says take one life. That's why I was saying
conscious rap. That's is gonna save the culture. Anything else, it's gonna get taken away.
And it's a powerful ritual because shout out to Phoenix 602. I'm with you, Phoenix 602. I didn't watch the Super Bowl at all. I went out and made some money when I was out out and about. The streets were empty, the freeways, no one was outside. That's how ritual is. Everyone is tuned into the TV and watching it, going down. So
it's really crazy because if you guys think about it, hold on. I was thinking about something the other day. I was inside of my friend's shop. He was opening up a store, and I was looking at things that were sitting right there, like a stack of crates. It was just on the opposite side of the counter. Anyone could have reached over and just took it, but their minds were so conditioned to, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to wait until this happens. It's like there's someone, if you really, really look from an aerial position from a third person lens, who has a controller who just got us running in a certain circumstance. And just like Samuel Jackson, you get a little bit of leeway and you think you have some power, but that's not true.
Let's see this one. And then they had this, and then they had the Tom Brady Snoop Dogg, which I thought was interesting.
You look different. I hate you because I don't understand you. I hate you because people I know hate you. I hate you because I think you hate me. Because I need some blame. Because you talk different. Because you act different. Because you're just different.
So
That
a
was a
lot.
commercial?
That was a commercial, y'all. And I don't know if you guys been noticing dog everywhere. And
Yes.
why wasn't he allowed to show his dreadlocks? You know, for me, when I see that on national TV, the white man, the so-called European, he's dressed normal, and then Snoop, you got on a stocking cap. You're supposed to be a multi-billionaire. You know, for me, it's like, why do our people still have to portray this image all the time? And so once again, for me, like to the right, they show Tom Brady as a robot, whether that's symbology or real, that some of these people are cyborgs like they're doing. And then Snoop, all these people under contract. And then hate, we get it. We're not supposed to hate, but Snoop was perpetuating hate for millions, I shouldn't say millions of years, but eons and eons. And yet he's still the face of Black America.
Shout out to the chat. I want to say shout out to the chat. Stop the violence. Let's see. We have Mr. G1 001 was at work too on that day. Phoenix 602. She wants to know, y'all think Kendrick he got power, or was he obligated to do this? What do you guys think?
I told y'all all this is orchestrated, y'all.
Hey,
all
just like we said earlier, you're right.
From the battle, and for me personally, knowing what I know, it's a love quarrel. A lot of these rappers be messing with each other. Like if you notice, way, much love to the brothers, but like I know what it takes to get to certain levels in Hollywood. And the majority of the time, you are going to have to do something compromising. That's when everyone was talking about the Diddy tapes, because when you basically, a so-called European Jew isn't going to give you millions and millions of dollars and make you famous unless you do something. He's not going to give someone like me $100 million, $1 million and start saying what I'm saying and break the spell. That's what I experienced, you know, when I was in the industry, or right there. One of the
I can't speak on that because
more and more people.
But I will say, like earlier, what I was saying about that TikTok, tic-tac-toe board or game or whatever.
Yeah,
it's the same thing about playing the game. And just like I said, what's his face had to be there for a reason. So did Kendrick. Everyone in the industry are just actors. They tell you all the time. Samuel Jackson has played a slave. He has played Coach Carter. He has played so many roles. He has made you cry. He has made you smile. He has made you laugh. He has made you entertain. He has done every single thing, which proves to you that you can take an ordinary Joe like me and turn me into Schoolboy Q in about 30 days. Drilling into me, I'll believe it.
There's rappers now who are coming out. If you go on YouTube, there was one rapper saying he was going down the street and he saw his billboard for the first time in San Francisco and Oakland, and he felt like he was the ish, and he called the record label, he called Leor Cohen, and Leor Cohen, if you guys know who that is, the big European dude, Ashkenazi Jew, who runs Def Jam and runs YouTube and all that. He called Leor, and I was like, oh, we bought that billboard. We bought the #1 slot on the radio and MTV in the box. And the rapper was like, what? He said, yeah, we did that. I got to go. And hung up. And the rapper said ever since then, he said his whole ego was crushed. So it lets you guys know, like I knew, but it lets you know that every song that goes viral that you guys hear, when you think a certain person organically got famous, no, this is all a business. It's all a game to keep you distracted from thinking high level thoughts to get you out of the game. They want you to play in the matrix. They don't even want you to know that you're in a matrix hologram. Now they're introducing virtual reality to get you into the VR, so you really don't know you're in a matrix hologram. So your kids will think that virtual reality is the new world that's coming, but in all actuality, you're already in the holodeck.
That analogy, can I say something real quick? That analogy reminds me of a Rubik's Cube. So every time I see a Rubik's Cube, you know how you see it and you see everything, all the colors are perfectly there. You know, you can see it. And then you start scrambling the Rubik's Cube around, right? And now you're trying to, oh, shoot, I can't figure out my way out. That's what we're in right now. So like you were speaking, now they're trying to get us into the virtual reality. They're trying to get it to where we are completely down a rabbit hole. We can't figure our way back out. And then the foods and the subliminal messages and the frequencies that they keep shooting out at us is going to prevent us from being able to look up and seeing that we're in a huge conundrum or a mess. So
yes,
You know, virtually the only thing you cannot mimic, you can mimic touch, love, or I'm sorry, you can mimic touch, sight, smell, feel, but you cannot mimic love.
you can mimic it, but interesting. I know what you mean. They're trying to mimic it.
You can't simulate that. You
Well,
you can have
that's what the humans, that lets us know why when we created the humans, that was the danger, because we were mixing animal DNA with our DNA, and the love capacity that we were created with originally, compared to who colonized us and has our people playing the game. It's a different type of love. So the robots that they're creating have no love. And so imagine what we're going to be dealing with this AI, and we're going to talk about Elon Musk as we start closing up the show soon and all that. But Lana, I wanted to show this symbol, y'all, when she was talking about, you were saying symbols and basically certain symbols in math codes that get you trapped. If you guys look in the middle and you learn about tetragrammaton and Megatron, and you learn about Tron, go look up the movie Tron, let alone what Metatron is or who that is and what that is, and you'll learn about geometric symbols that keep us trapped. And that's why I say words create worlds, and that's why it's imperative for us to find out our language, our original tone, and not ever tell it to them again, because once we find out our language and tone again, we can vibrate on that frequency, and they'll never know what we're talking about. They'll never know how to grow certain crops. They won't know how to do anything, because the only way that they're even able to do anything is because they have us distracted and so-called enslaved, to where we're no longer thinking for ourselves, so they can just simply vampire off of us. They can vampire and create new technology, new thoughts. Basically, by even having one of us around them, they can just simply steal our ideas. So right here, we saw that, I don't know if you guys are watching, but an earthquake just happened in Area 51. So I want everyone to, someone's just saying that.
Wait, did you guys feel that earlier?
My mom said that there was an earthquake in the IE in 29 Palms. And 29 Palms they said there was a alien attack back in the day, and there was a base in 29 Palms. So there's a city called 29 Palms out here in Southern California.
Wait. You know it's crazy. So you know how to do that EM 385, military safety compliance?
Mm-hmm.
So I just was applying, and the latest one that I was talking to actually was at 29 Palms. That's
Wait,
trippy.
again?
I said the latest stuff I was gonna go do some stuff at was going to be 29 Palms.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys feel about Area 51? We see that coming up more. We see the plane crashes happening more. We no more talk of the drones in the sky, right? What happened to that? What happened to that? So clearly they are distracting us again. And you guys got to remember, still, this is still Black History Month. Next week is another distraction with the NBA All-Star Weekend. So once again, they're funneling us, for me, the extraterrestrials, to build their economy. How much money, we should find out how much money did the NFL make off of the Super Bowl? How much did Budweiser make? How much did these TV networks? Someone said that everyone was inside, and really they were inside for the performance. It was that no one really cared about the game. They had to use Kendrick Lamar, the Drake beef, to make people care about the NFL, and that's why they hired Jay-Z. Because if you guys remember, people were starting to boycott the NFL with Colin Kaepernick take a knee and all that stuff. And once Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg did the halftime performance, everyone forgot about it.
Hey, real quick, you said, let me answer something. You said, what do I think? Area 51.
Yeah.
My personal belief, because I asked my deity about that when I died, and Area 51 is not entirely what we think of it. We think aliens. Aliens are all over the place. They're a fucking a lot. They got a lot of them at Area 51, but that's not really the main central. To my belief, I think that is the computer hard drive to the simulator you're experiencing right now. Everyone from every continent, from every place on Earth, from every single place, always talk about one. So if everyone talks about Area 51, there has to be something special about it. I'm sure they have a lot of papers in there, a lot of things we don't need to know about, stories that are, the usuals. But ultimately, I think that is the most guarded place, an unknown place. You can find out anything about anything, but that place you cannot. I think that is actually the center of our computer screen, or at least one of the main moving components to the computer you're in.
I hear you. For me, I was showing a picture a few seconds ago of the center of the earth and what they would call not necessarily the North Pole, but our ancestors say that we came out the center of the earth in the tree of life. You guys should watch the show on HBO called Westworld. But they talk about tree of life is really an antenna, and certain Egyptian hieroglyphs show that as well, to where it, like the pillars, it basically holds this three-dimensional projection of atoms, photons, and neurons, and lights, and all that together. But for me, Area 51, through my studies, is one of the multiple bases that they tell the public about. Of course, anything that's top secret, we're not going to know about, but just the fact of the idea that people like Bob Lazar, you guys should type him up, and other pale-skinned Europeans who are revealing over and over throughout the years that the government has extraterrestrial technology, and that they're able to reverse engineer this technology. And not just that, they confirm that we are not alone, and that there's multiple humanoid extraterrestrials that can morph and look like humans, and there's other groups of extraterrestrials. And when we get to knowing that as a people, that's when people really not even just question the whole religion scam ends. People going to work and doing their jobs, the whole way people think about reality will shift when the government and whoever the powers that be feel that we're not alone. And most likely it's going to take a physical event. That's what they're talking about.
It's gonna fuck up people's
Project Bluebeam.
It's gonna fuck up people's concept of reality. Because here's the thing: humans at the current time believe we are the most advanced specimen on Earth, because we can travel and we're able to do things that other species are not able. We've came to this odd conclusion that we are the most intelligent, but that actually is far from, because even in the animal kingdom, where their intelligence are very, very more thin, they still continue on to make the animal planet stay in harmony. And humans, just like we were talking about, inverting our way of thinking, are the only specimens who really are not really satisfiable. So as you kind of go on into to time, and you think about humans and just our natural construct and shit like that, that really would destroy the idea that we are the alpha, the omega, the beginning and the end. And for us to find out that black people had more to do with what you're experiencing than you think also would be a big shift too, but not for us, but for them.
The world ends. That's the whole point of the end of the world. We're not talking about the sun blowing up and all that. We're talking about the world, not the universe and the planet.
Their world.
Their world is about to end because the revealing of the truth is about to happen. It happens every day. You have your wake-up call every day. There's events that happen in your life that let you know that this is all bullshit and you've been lied to, and you should be going turn around and go the opposite direction. But there's so many fun distractions. Your friend, your mom, your dad, all of them are hypnotized, brainwashed. Everyone was focused on the Kendrick Lamar thing. Now they're back to the regular reality of the programming, the Matrix. And so these real conversations are needed because it's the food for the soul and the mind, because everything right now is going to bombard people's mind to distract them on thinking on higher levels, on to escape this Matrix hologram. And that's why most people are not going to make it or survive, because most likely the government is going to create a Project Blue Beam hologram spaceship event in the sky and cause people to believe if they cause like some type of or some type of crazy madness and put a hologram of a white Jesus, bro, it's a wrap. It's a freaking wrap. And most people will think that is real. And so that's what we're dealing with. For me, it's our ancestors, advanced civilizations of people who still exist, offshoot civilization. This is why I was trying to show you guys this map over here. Because if you guys look, it was right here. They show us the Asia, Africa, Europe, United States, Antarctica. They show you these few lands because they have to teach us that we're spinning on a ball 1,000 miles per hour. They cannot teach us that if this land is stationary and there's other land masses all throughout this Matrix hologram infinite plane of existence, people won't put up with this bullshit. They'll go looking for other lands. And then there's literature that teaches people and tells people that there's civilizations on what they call outside of the ice wall. And so this is when it starts getting fascinating, to where there's a way to escape the maze. And that's what, for me, the hieroglyphs and our ancestors in these commercials and all these are telling us, is there's a way to escape this reality without dying, without no weird shit. There's a landmass that exists here that we can find. Is just that if we're all thinking about what those who have colonized us teach us to believe in, we're never going to find home. And if you so-called die believing in what they taught you, which is pretty much everything most people know, you don't graduate from the universe and you have to come back. Or if you did some super wicked shit, there most likely is an intergalactic prison when you go outside of what we call this light spectrum. Because why? There is something around us. The human eye can only see between 430 to 700 THZs. Our ears can only detect a certain hertz. So that means that there's a different light frequency all around us. So when we talk about extraterrestrials, ghosts, and all these things, it's just they're vibrating on a different frequency. But eventually those frequencies and dimensions are about to merge together. And that's why slowly but surely they're showing you these beings. On the Super Bowl commercial, they had this commercial. And what do you see? What does that look like? That's the ancient Egyptian god Bes, B-E-S. So right there, they have a commercial with like the Doritos or something, and the guy gets stuck in a spaceship. And down at the bottom, I would say that the best character in ancient Egypt, which is a deity, is Ewok character. So everyone go type in ancient god best. And there
Hey,
you
I
go.
have a question. I didn't want to interrupt you. The ancestors said let them speak because you were connecting some dots for some people that are listening. But my question to you is, are you saying that for those that are not, I don't like saying awoke or awake, but for those that are not raising their vibration, Earth or the planet is raising it, regardless whether you're ready or not. So if you're not ready for what you're about to see, you're gonna freak out because they're showing you what you're about to experience. You're gonna see. Okay.
Yes,
Interesting.
and that's why when people do psychedelic mushrooms again, I saw demons and I'll never do. Yeah, you saw what is real, and then other people, they'll eat and be like, man, the tree started talking to me. This is dog started talking to me. The bird started singing and teaching me all these codes. So basically what it is that those dimensions exist. They're happening all the time. So when you eat a magic mushroom and you're vibrating on that love frequency, and you have to come back down, but you remember that high frequency where our ancestors lived on, and then they kept building on that. But this world that we live in, they want to keep bringing us lower and lower and lower instead of reaching the higher ancestors, which is you. And so they scare
Is
us
that
from.
why you're saying is best? So are you saying is that why it's best that we stay into nature, because nature versus plugging into the TV and our laptops and iPads and all that consistently, that is keeping us under a spell, is by plugging into the live vision and listening to frequencies that are low vibrating frequencies. It's probably best to unplug from those and go into nature and plug into the ground so that we can hear what nature has to say and can guide us. So during these times where the trumps are trumpeting, we should probably unplug and ground ourselves so that the real nature can speak to us. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because right here we were, and yes, stop the violence. We are in the Truman Show. Uh, uh, I'm gonna go back to that, because at the beginning of the Truman Show, watch it again, y'all. The camera falls and it says Sirius B. Watch the Truman Show again, and when the star falls from the sky, it says Sirius B. And then to me, that starts telling us that you're actually in a real Truman Show. You're like in an actual TV show, a simulation. You're being watched, you're being viewed. That's the whole point of All Seeing Eye. But right here, like you're saying with nature, the Louisiana MERS was showing us, taking it back to the start of the show, Poverty Point. Uh, right here, when you guys type in Poverty Point in Louisiana, this is a historical monument that the Ouachita Black Indians created, where we talk about pyramids and mound structures using sacred geometry, math, agriculture, at a time when they said there was no civilizations in North America. So all this information now is coming up, and this is why it's imperative for us to learn about our so-called Moorish, Black Indian heritage here in America, because this is how we learn to free ourselves. This is the culture. So in nature, which we go right here to what we call the ancient Egyptian gods, the a fairy. If you're eating certain plants, which certain plants are psychedelic, it's gonna enhance, or really it's going to decalcify your pineal gland, which is your antenna. And now your antenna is able to pick up different frequencies that exist all around you, but you're living in a society that wants to assimilate you to a group of people who have to keep you ignorant so they can vampire off you, so they can actually live, because without you, they don't exist. And that's the whole point of us being kept in captivity in our own land. If we were to separate from the pale-skinned European, they don't exist to us. And then so you learn the stories before 1492, the pale-skinned European didn't exist to most of us. They recently, Asian man, the pale skin just came around them. Ask the Polynesians, the pale skin, ask the Africans, ask everyone on the planet, and they will say that these group of pale skinned people are new. So what was our education system like? What was our spiritual systems like? And was the reality, and we were with extraterrestrials, what we call star people. And that's the joy of the planet, us making contact again with our friends and families throughout the galaxy, but actually right here. They're right here. It's just that they're using, like says, the food. The foods have chemicals that have mind-altering behaviors. If you guys watch the movie or the show Stargate SG-1, they'll talk about the parasite that goes in through the navel, can go in through your ear and through your skin. And these parasites are worms, and they have supreme intelligence. And like Lana was telling you, these parasites can change your mood, change the way you think, and that's how they take over planets. And that's why you see people acting insane, doing the same thing over and over. Super Bowl every year, Valentine's Day every year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 10 p.m. It's a psychological time clock to keep you in a time loop. There's no such thing as Monday. There's no such thing as 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is made up. And so they use words like God and all these things to trap you in their world. But like Jojo and Lana were saying, is that slowly they've been introducing you to the fact that we are not alone. So being the fact, I'm gonna end it and let you guys go, but being the fact that we're not alone, it allows us, one, to break free, but then it makes us question, we've been wasting time. What are we doing with our lives if we can make contact with extraterrestrial beings? And that's the whole point to why they have these churches, why they have the so-called Jesus worship and all these other religious people, all these religious worships, because the moment we step outside of that and start talking about the extraterrestrials, it links to our culture. And that's a livid, L-I-T. So instead of diet, we're eating foods to live, and these foods actually have codes. They communicate. That's why inside of us, they call it organs. And what does an organ do? It plays musical notes. And what does musical notes do? It's a vibration. It's a frequency.
Yes.
Therefore, the foods that we eat are supposed to communicate with us and give us supreme information outside of the colonizer. And so now that sun flare and the planet's heating up, we're naturally getting codes. So he knows that. That's why he has to do AI. That's why he has to create these robots. He has to cheat, because naturally we can eat certain foods and stand under the sun, moon, and stars and get information that they cannot on the highest vibration. And this is how, and this is why we created advanced, and they did not. So they have to go in and change time, erase by knocking the nose off of certain deities. Look at this extraterrestrial being that they call Bess. They knocked the nose off of this statue. Why is that? It's because they're traveling through time, distracting us. So one day they are the gods. Like today, most of our people worship a pale-skinned European god. Why? Because we don't know who we are as a people. And so once again, we have Brother Crip Jesus coming in. We're talking about the Super Bowl, brother. I don't know if you tuned in. We're talking about the commercials and everything as well. So how you doing, brother?
I ain't gonna lie, right? Like I was on and off with it. Like I was kind of in there, because I remember Shout out to Crumb. Crumb had something. We was on there, and then I was really more on the halftime. I did the halftime. I seen a few commercials. I did the halftime, and then a couple commercials got on. The game was killing me, man. 0 to 17. I just couldn't watch. I was like, this shit is, yeah.
You guys know that, you know, and that's another thing. Sports are definitely rigged. So
I gotta go, loved ones.
All right, peace, JoJo.
I
Peace,
love you all. Travel lightly.
Peace, JoJo. So let's get into this, man.
And the thing I want to leave you guys with for the week is, you know, go to the gym, go do some push-ups, and turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
Throw it out.
For real.
Peace.
Peace, JoJo.
So let me ask you this. Let me play devil's advocate a little bit because I've been curious about this. So sports is scripted. So take a choice. Do you? It's different versions. Do you think it's scripted like everybody got a script? It's all fake. Do you think it's like some people got a script, some people don't, or do you think it's like an overall script? Like, look, y'all gotta lose now. Y'all figure that shit out how y'all gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Or like, hey, I need you to do this. Like, you think it's like partial, or you think it's like scripted, like reality TV? Like, nigga, even the amount of yards that dude run, it's all scripted.
It's well, of course, certain players are in on it. Only certain top players. Of course, all owners are in on it. That's at Cal State San Marcos called sports psychology. And it broke down how every sport from, like you just said, the yard line, the circle, whether it's a volleyball game, all those markers mean something of the mind. It's beyond like the diamond, the reason the bases are a certain way, the meters, how far it is, all that is numbers, you know, and all basically for betting, it goes beyond attention of most people until you really take the class. So really, when we look at the yard lines, and then we look at the betting, we have Las Vegas. People bet on if someone has 2 interceptions. I can bet $1 million that there'll be 2 sacks. There's so much money involved in the Super Bowl. That's why the games always are different than a normal game. You know, but when it comes to the script, there was a movie called Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis, and they were showing you the script. Even with the movie Blue Chip, it was showing you.
That's how they're able to also manipulate your emotions, everyone's emotions too. So it's all part of the ritual. You know, it's a frequency they're trying to get everybody on. So we'll have him do a touchdown and then have the crowd all excited, but have this crowd over here feeling a certain kind of way on purpose at specific times of the day because it's all part of the ritual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely part of the circus. And then look at the picture on the bottom. You see Samuel Jackson. You see Serena. You see DJ Mustard. You see so much going on. And then you see the PlayStation. It's all a game, y'all. And the thing about it, we were showing the Washita Moors, the Black Indians, last episode and this episode to show how they use the so-called God, the black male, so-called black male, as battery for their economy. Literally, no one was paying attention as much to the game. They needed the halftime show to promote that game. If the Kendrick Lamar hoopla wasn't the halftime thing, there wouldn't have been that many viewers because there's a disinterest in football. They have to create controversy now. That's why they hired Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and Rock Nation for the halftime show. People weren't watching football anymore. So what did they always do when the NCAA was going broke? What did they do? They desegregated football. When the major league was going broke, what did they do? They let Jackie Robinson and all these brothers in the major leagues, and all of a sudden, so the same with the NBA. They didn't let black people play basketball with the so-called Palestinian Europeans. Matter of fact, when black people and white people would play together, they wouldn't allow brothers to dunk. It was illegal for you to dunk a basketball because the so-called white men weren't as athletic. So yes, it's a sport, and it's called sports and entertainment because there's money on the line. There's too much money on the line for the game not to be rigged.
Yeah.
So the quarterback will know. A certain cornerback will know. A certain offensive lineman will know. Be like, all right, at the 2-minute mark, and then certain reps are paid off too. You know, like, okay, I'm gonna call this one. Hey man, I need you to call this. I'm gonna give you $1 million. We got this on the line. Woo-de-woo. It's that much money. Gambling.
That makes sense. I think that makes more sense than the things I've heard with the script. Like you said, certain people in on it, they're manipulating, influencing it, throwing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just enough people not in on it for them to still appear like it's just all, this is all real.
Yeah, and the moment a player does start getting out of line, he'll get injured. They'll pay someone to chop his knee, something, a scandal, and he'll be out the league, silence him, and this revolve, because if they only had certain veterans in because they know, like the NBA players will tell you, they'll be like, man, it's politics, bro. It's because it's all a game. They're not going to black men to play basketball and play football their way. They have to control it, The endorsements. They said the shoes that Kendrick Lamar was wearing, which were the Deons, that boosted in those, his performance. So all things are marketing strategies for them to make money. So do you think Black America gained through the Super Bowl, Crip Jesus, Arlana, compared to white America?
Well, I know for the halftime show, and it was so much emphasis placed on that I could start there. It was a big I want to say confirmation. There's been a lot of argument about who started hip hop, and then you got Drake from Canada comes through, and so it was just good for us to know standing firm on our 10 and staying true to the culture and staying, honest to the culture, get celebrated, especially in a time when that's not celebrated, when it's all about, being cool and fitting in and going with the crowd. So to see someone stand out from the crowd and not be anything like them, and they're not like us, literally, you know what I'm saying? You gotta love it.
I hear you. What do you think, Lana? Do you feel that sports and entertainment is scripted?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what everyone's saying. Phoenix 602, I think it's all scripted.
Yeah,
I hear
it
you.
is. I don't watch sports. I just go off what my vibe is. Like I said, I wasn't engaged in the ritual. I was out and had my ears to the streets, listening, vibing off of like everybody's energy. And I'm like, wow, everyone's really under a spell. They're really good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? So they use frequencies. Like I said, they use the music. They have halftime at a specific time on purpose. Mind you, behind the scenes, when all the down and everyone's in tune to the TV. My question is what's happening in the world while everyone's engaged into the Super Bowl? Who's dying right now? What other plane crashed? Just a couple of hours ago, I guess they launched another rocket or whatever, Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Like they're up to stuff that get us distracted so that they can go and do their thing. So yeah, it's all scripted. It's definitely scripted. Oh, there you go.
UFO sighting. And it's funny, I went on Facebook, and you would think that everyone would know by now that it's the space rocket thing, but maybe it's not. What do you think about these UFO sightings, Crip Jesus? We were talking about Area 51 having an official earthquake today. Elon Musk, like Lana said, just had a space launch. All Super Bowl events a distraction. And why? Because it's during Black History Month. February, the shortest month, Valentine's, lunar calendar, NBA All-Star Weekend, Super Bowl. It just seems like a lot.
I think it's imperative that right now we be very careful with the language, because they have spells on us with these words. And what happens is, like, us being more advanced in science and technology from a holistic and natural point of view, they took all of that and turned it into UFO weird talk, right? To where it has a certain reputation comes with it, and people don't want to hear, like, you know what I mean? That comes from whatever reputation was placed on it. Feel me? So I think right now we have to work hard to realize that the sciences that we're being urged to dig into to figure out what's going on are the same sciences that they banned, not banned, but they demonized with the whole little hippie movement type thing. Look at the hippie movement. Didn't the hippie movement, the 50s and 60s, that's when we were getting super conscious, right? That's what Malcolm X, like, yeah. So that's how I see it. And I can only go off of what I'm experiencing. So somebody may say, oh, no, we've been like that. Okay, whatever. But I know right now, to me, it seems like with the technology and the apps, there's a certain demographic of us that are really into this, certain suppressed information. So someone has to come along and figure out a way, to beat through that and get through that and get it to the people.
Lana? No, go ahead, Pridges.
Oh, my bad. Huh?
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
So what I was gonna say was that
We're talking about Area 51.
No, my bad. I was talking about the language.
Okay.
So
yeah.
What they've done a good job of doing is, since the time when we started revealing these things, I say we, I'm talking about organizations that represent the quote unquote so-called Black, Negro, colored, about 100 years ago, starting like 1925, 1926, 1928, 1930, 31. In the Moor Science Temple, they talk about having access to an apparatus and being able to ride in it above what's going on the earth in the future when it all goes down. The Nation of Islam, they call it the wheel. Says a mothership and it sends down the little baby ships and all of that. Now, the point I'm bringing this up is to say that when the Federal Bureau of Investigation was running up on these organizations, supposedly this was one of the hottest topics. Supposedly, this is what they, the NOI claims that when the FBI ran up in their facilities in the 30s, they were looking for the pictures of UFOs and things like that. Not that they had seen, that Wallace Farr Muhammad drew for them. Now, what am I bringing all this up for? To say that we've been talking about this for over 100 years as far as our little groups and cliques and those that's, Black, what they call it, Black conscious community, Black power, all that. They've been talking about this for a long time. So what has happened is, if you ask me, what has happened is they have infiltrated this conversation. Mm-hmm. They have. All that Zachariah stitching, all that. I need to do a video with showing like everything they claim to reveal. I can show you somebody that was revealing it around that time, but from our side. I've heard dudes say that Dr. York dropped the tablets right around the time Zachariah stitching them came with the whole remix. Right. So what you find is that we have to be careful with the language of this conversation, or else we'll be caught in a spell. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people now. That's why I came with the spell of Ali-Ian. I'm really trying to get that to catch on, the Ali-Ian, so dudes will understand, oh, okay, this is us. This is a tribe. This is us. This is us traveling around with high technology. This is us going out of the space and coming back and then leaving again, come back. Because I hear dudes, they act like, yeah, but when you start to really talk to them and hear the language, it's like, no, they're talking about something outside of them. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing is, what happens is the spells, like, you know what I mean? Because the first thing they're thinking is whatever's been programmed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to show them, like, when you're looking at a Kenaton and that big old head, that's the alien thing that you're thinking of when you think of the alien head. Like, it's right here in front of us. You feel me?
Look at
Come
my
on
head.
now.
Yeah. They used to call me alien head, literally.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at those skulls, those elongated skulls, to me, some of us that, the Zulu,
it's called
they would have
shaping. They just shape it a little more. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zulus and stuff, they would shape they would bind their hats in Africa to their head. And I asked why, and they said some of our extraterrestrial ancestors, that was their head shape. So and so I liked how you put it together. When we have to teach our people, we had advanced civilizations. Okay, we understand the Egypt, we understand the Mesoamerica. So it would make sense that we had our own elite so-called space force, just like they have NASA today. So it would make sense that we have technology to be able to bend space and time. Everything that they're trying to do, we already did. And so how you were breaking it down, my best example is to put in people's mind is Wakanda. Imagine our civilizations back in the day, untouched, untapped, building innovative, eating correct foods, untapped for millions and thousands of years. Imagine the technology, solar technology we created, the machines that we created. We learn about El Dorado, cities of gold. I showed you guys pictures of hieroglyphs with wheels. They wheels in the Amazon. So they found streets. So we know that we had paved roads back in the day. And so imagine creating a vehicle, which I'm sure, Crib Jesus, if we were under the sun for 40 years, I'm sure if we had the right tools, we could create certain technology. So just imagine when we own facilities, our own education systems, what we built. So when we talk about Area 51, to me, it's something to be taken serious when they're revealing that they have these highly advanced institutions or, I guess, buildings,
No, yeah. But my point is that that's our piece of land right there. So that's our connection. So when the ship is coming down from the sky and we're thinking otherworldly, no, that's your grandma looking for you. And you've been convinced it's some other shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said the language to me is very this all I'm saying. When we say it and we use the same verbiage, and then the kid watches off and watches all these TV shows. See what I'm saying? That's why some brothers don't say Egypt, because they know as soon as you keep saying Egypt and they go turn the TV on, it's got a bunch of lies about Egypt. But if you hit them with the Kemet, you get what I'm saying? They already know. If you ain't saying that, right? So that now they will watch the Egyptian stuff, but they will filter it out because it's not using the word Kemet. You see what I'm saying? It's like a filter you put there with the vibration. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to show something though, because about the time thing.
Oh, Ogra asks, we seen the rocket clear as day here, lit up the whole sky.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Is it up there?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been to these places, y'all. The Temple of Seti and Abydos. I have pictures and video.
So he came to power before Ramses the Great, but it was completed during the time of Ramses the Great. Temple had 7 entrances. Ramses II blocked 6 of them in order to have additional surface area so that he can carve his own inscriptions. Inside the temple, Ramses carved out many of his father's titles and replaced them with his own. Inside the entrance of the temple, there's a hypostyle hall. A hypostyle hall represents a room full of columns supporting the ceiling. In fact, the ceiling rests on lintels. One of these lintel blocks has become the center of attention for ancient astronaut theorists. Bam. So I first learned about this from the Nation of Islam, not historians, not archaeologists. No. So this is what I mean by there's plenty of people in these organizations that we think are all just about, you know, we kind of look over them and downplay them, especially people like me and yourself who are kind of nerdy and into a whole lot of higher level information. We sometimes downplay these people. But, oh, yeah, they got, you know, let's talk about the real shit, though. But no, let's realize that the real shit's sitting all around us. Like I said, the NOI brother, Nuri Muhammad, was the first person I ever heard not only speak on this, but pull out the paperwork and show it. He was showing pictures. He said, what does this thing look like? A helicopter? What does this thing look like? A floating, a hovering car? What does this thing looks like? A almond-shaped flying device?
Yeah,
so I like that he said almond-shaped instead of just saying UFO. That's what I mean by we have to take our students' brains into understanding things, because if they just put the broad terms on them, then you're forced to take whatever comes with that vibration. So before we let them tell us what it is, we can look with our own eyes and see. Now check this out, brother. No. Get your ass on back up here, man. No, you got to see this, man. Hold on.
I'm here.
What that look like in the middle to you? I know you see all the other crazy stuff, the helicopter, the floating car.
Looks like a UFO.
Thank
a
you.
Helicopter,
in the middle right there.
Cars, UFO. That's crazy.
The Jetson.
UFO in the middle, though.
Yeah.
Check this out. Looking closely at the lintel, we notice 4 flying machines. 4 flying machines. So do we count 4? I see that that right there look like a UFO. I see that right there look like a hovering car.
Yeah, hovering
helicopter.
And maybe a submarine.
Yeah, it's like a submarine. Exactly. That's what the NOI said too. They said that's like a submarine. It says a helicopter, a submarine, a flying saucer, bam, and an airplane with a cockpit.
And so those civilizations and those people, to me, are still flying around. Those are our people. There's land masses that they still cannot find and not see with their technology. And that's why I teach that there is a pickup. Meaning that when we vibrate at a certain frequency and start having these conversations, the manifestation happens without no spooky, weird stuff, just like an air flight. Okay, there's a pickup time, but they distract us with all this other stuff, so you miss the call. Like they have, like you said, the NOI has something called the final call, like them ringing tones in your ear. It's time.
Wow. That's
not
so
get
crazy.
lost in these distractions. That's how they showed you the NFL. I've been going to the Bayou Classic all my life up into Hurricane. And personally, I had not seen the Black Indians. Out of all the NFL games I've watched of the New Orleans Saints, I personally have not seen them bring out the Black Indians. So the fact that we have an episode about it, the fact that that's the topic of America, when me and my goddess went to Louisiana recently, it was a normal conversation when I brought up Black Indians and the mounds. You know, one brother who was Cajun, he said, "Man, I'll take you, Monroe." He said they're all over Monroe. And he said, "You know about that?" He said, and he showed me love for the fact that I knew my heritage, because he said right now, basically your people, our people, he said they don't care about it, you know. So to me, this is the fascinating aspect of our culture and education system and the curriculum where we can design our lives around. This is why we go back to the future, because the past is going to propel us into the future, y'all. To me, this is so exciting. But go ahead.
Yeah, it don't really say too much. It just was showing, you know what I mean? So you did have some naysayers come along later and try to say it's what they call it, palimpsest, where basically it's like it's been there for a long time and it's been eroded and there's other stuff on top. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to say like it was there for a while and they wrote something else on top of what it used to be, and that's just how it looks now. Like, man, if you don't get up out of here, that's already been revealed, baby. Feel me?
And there we go. And so
it just goes to show how much they like to suppress their information of technology.
The very front of it looks like a fish. Did I miss something? It looks like a mouth of a fish in the very front.
Let me see. Oh, like the way it's straight. Mm-hmm.
The very like front of this, like it looks like a fish. You know how you can see the spaceship, you can see the car like keep going straight. It looks like it's inside of a fish.
Yeah. But see, the crazy thing about it to me is that we all felt like we saw it. As soon as we saw it, we did, oh yeah, flying saucer. You see what I'm saying? So
unidentified flying object.
But see, that's why I said it's identified here. It's not a UFO, it's a flying saucer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. See, this is what I mean by this is what I mean by the language.
It says SETI. You were saying now type in SETI satellite, and
that wasn't type in. That was a video. That wasn't type in.
No, there's a program called SETI, and it's about extraterrestrials. It's a satellite. It's called the SETI project, a search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And so I thought that coincidence that the Temple of Abydos SETI have a SETI NASA type program and satellite. For me, once again, the pharaohs and the gods, we were traveling to different dimensions or different land masses, or what they show in the hieroglyphs, bending space and time, traveling through wormholes. And that's why I said we're in a dimension. And some of us are, I know all of us are extraterrestrial, but some of us are actually from another so-called planet or landmass and was trapped here when the stargates closed. And so that's why some of us feel that we're not from this dimension. It's because some of us are actually, our bloodline comes from somewhere else. And so for me, that's why it's imperative to study our culture of the mothership, of extraterrestrials, stars.
But you gotta be careful in what you're saying, because this is ours, and we're not giving this shit up, Jason.
I hear you.
So even if you got trapped here, it's still yours, because you've been here for thousands of years, and you built that shit. Okay,
right?
So the point is that shit inscribed on that wall, that belonged to you and me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not giving it to them.
No,
say we from somewhere else. No, that's all.
I hear what you're saying. People want to think of outside of themselves. So
I'm talking about ownership. Don't forget, out of all these books we write and all these videos we making, it's about these people controlling our shit. You feel what I'm saying? We want our shit back. You feel what I'm saying?
That goes to the whole point of the conversation of the ball games. When they say the first black quarterback, the fourth black quarterback to win, when they have the Super Bowl.
Language, exactly. Language. See what I'm saying?
And so when we look at the ball games, how much money in industry do they make off of the ball games? And if our people understood that we are the creators of these ball games, and when we have our own land, imagine the wealth that we can build off ball games when we own our own leagues again. Imagine imagine if the brothers did not play in the Super Bowl. Imagine if the brothers did not play in the NBA and said, okay, we have our own stadium here in Riverside, California with the best football and basketball players. Who do you think they're going to go see? The so-called white dudes playing against each other? Or do you think they're going to come see our leagues? And so that's where we have to start seeing the wealth in our culture. It's so much wealth that we can build even off of the ball games, you know? And so that's why I saw the rituals. And then when we go study it, you guys can see factual evidence of us as Mesoamericans. So that's why as New Orleans, the black quarterbacks, Louisiana, all these rituals, and then the Kendrick Lamar defeating the Draconian, all these things are rituals for me, preparing us for the time it is. And it's a wonderful time to be an Amarucan or Moor. And for me, the NFL stamped it. Anytime they show the world who we are at the opening, there it goes. And then the special Williams, Taj Williams reflects on our culture and influence on creating the Super Bowl logo. So right there, it's a good teaching segment, like we taught earlier, that William in Washington comes from us. And so we got to remember, through their nasal passage, they weren't able to pronounce Washita Kubata, Washita Uwaka. And so they'd be like, Washita Williams, you know, is because they weren't able to pronounce that. So the language, like Crib Jesus, when we're able to say, Washita Mukadun, Hara, they'll be like, what does that mean? And they'll get scared because they don't know what it is. And when we vibrate on that frequency and have success communication, it builds wealth. And that's why we shouldn't give up our culture again, like we did with hip hop and all these sacred sciences, because that's where the wealth is. That's how we build up our nation again, is through the knowledge. But go ahead. And
I agree 1,000%. And I would even go as far as to say, when you think of a spell, right? That's what I mean by the language. I know when I hear the word spell, because of the brainwashing they've done, I think of Walla Kazam, and soap being cooked and all of that. I mean, soup being cooked and fame, and if it's not that, it's not a spell to my brain that's been brainwashed. But if I really just take my ego out of it, which has been fed a bunch of ideals and concepts, I hear spell every day. When I ask somebody how to spell this word, spell that word. So Washington is a perfect example of a spell, because once you add in the ing, your brain thinks it's something completely different. Now you're picturing a president. Now you're picturing a state in Northwest America. Now you're picturing DC. Now you're picturing all these things they put on that title, which is nothing but a vibration. Washington. Like you just said, it's the same vibration, Washita. But if I just spell it different, it irks the whole thing up. Like you said, once I get my name, Washington. No, Washita. Washington. Man, fuck all that. Not only am I saying it my way, I'm spelling it different and teach it to you this way and suppress the other one. This, to me, that's the best way of hiding something, is just spell it different, to put that spell on it. And then after the spell's on it, then add add the lies to that spelling. You feel me? So like I did a presentation earlier on the original mafia, which was a tribe that ruled in Africa, Europe, and the Middle East all at the same time, called Al Mafiri. Now the Al just means the, so the name is Mafiri.
Is that
Mafia.
why
You know what I'm saying? Mafiri is just a spell.
Mm.
And what they do with it, they took Mafiri was actually a tribe that was ruling 3 continents at once, high level, scholars, warriors, all of that. They took it and made it all about criminals. Feel me?
To the master teachers, let me just let you know about the priestess is going to go to Dream World, but shout out to you guys. And definitely shout out to the chat. Much love. I love you all. If you want to find me, you can find me on IG. It's Lana's_elixir, or Facebook. It's She Makes Sense. So I love you guys. Peace out.
Peace.
And then once again, y'all, we start closing it out with these plane crashes. Once again, disturbance of electrical frequencies, paying attention to Area 51. But go ahead, Crib Jesus.
Go ahead, bro. What do you mean?
Oh, so they said Oxford scientists achieved quantum teleportation with a supercomputer. In past episodes, we were breaking down CERN, time travel, and all these great things that are happening that we're being left up out of. And so like Chris was showing you with the Temple of Abydos, our ancestors already achieved this technology. So everything that they're introducing to us with the supercomputer, quantum computer, AI, robots, our ancestors clearly already did that. And our proof is going around the world and looking at these ancient advanced structures. And once again, like today, they show the Black Indians. And when we look at the Black Indians and go to Poverty Point in Mississippian cultures, we can actually prove today that we created an advanced civilization here in North America, in particularly Louisiana. And that right there is where we should be studying our culture. And Brother Crip Jesus has a book on called the Black Indian Wars and also the Blue Bible. But right there is a good marker for everyone as we close out in these last 10 minutes on connecting the Super Bowl ritual to show you that you are the quarterback. You're not the first quarterback. So you might be the first quarterback in their league, but you are the creator of the rubber ball game. So what was the purpose of our games? And in order to create these type of games, we had to know mathematics. We had to have science. We had to have some type of agriculture for food, right? We had a purpose behind the games. We had a purpose behind everything that we did. So what is the purpose now as a people on what we're doing when we participate in their games? What is the outcome? Every time they use us for their games, they gain wealth. And it seems like we debate, still debating, still lost. What is the solution to take up out of so-called Black History Month, the Super Bowl ritual, and upcoming, we're going to be talking about NBA All-Star Weekend. And then with the scripted Luka, the Luka trade with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis just got hurt. So yes, it's all scripted. Do you think anybody in their right mind would trade Anthony Davis for Luka? No, the NBA needs more views. So that's an intelligent script. You feel me? Okay, we're gonna trade. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have this here. We're gonna do these events here. Make all these money off of these brothers and siphon Black History Month. All rituals this month.
I'll say the solution is truth. You know, something about truth that just, it takes a whole weight off your back. And Could you go back? But you always flipping that. Oh no, going back, going back. So the solution is truth. You feel what I'm saying? And because we have to celebrate the truth, it's not just truth in itself like that, but celebrating the truth and condemning the lie. You don't see that a lot now. You get what I'm saying? Like people just be like, oh, you know they lying. You know how it go. No, condemn the lie. Write letters. Complain. Petition. Celebrate the truth. You see that brother with his book, don't just, oh, okay, yeah, I bought a copy, support. No, buy 10, 20 copies. Give it to all the kids in your family. Force the truth. It's not going to fly out the sky, and you just as bad as a Jesus waiter if you think the truth is going to have to win. The truth eventually got to win. That's the same thing as saying Jesus is going to come out the sky and save us. You're no better than the person that's waiting for the white horse to fly through the white cloud with the white Jesus riding on the top of it. If you just think the truth is going to win because it got to win. It's not how this works. We are being given the truth to spread it. So what me and this brother are doing, it's been times we up here and there ain't nobody watching. We don't care. We going in, right? Because we have a job to do. So for those that did watch, I'm not trying to pick on nobody that watches this, but if you've been watching this for 2 hours, you clearly picked up something. Don't be selfish. Spread the video.
Oh, get this, Crip Jesus. I'm scrolling through Instagram today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this video and I see it 2-3 times, and I'm like, man, I thought I was saying that no one posted about the Washita and the Black Indians, right? They were all posting about the Kendrick Lamar halftime. I was like, no one picked up the ritual. And so when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, oh, someone else did. And then I looked closer. I said, man, that's my TV. Someone had took my video that I posted on Facebook, overdubbed her voice, and it went viral. I hit the person up and said, man, I said, much love posting my video, but it would have been cool if you would have tagged me and said, yo, I got this from brother Jason Elm Street. And they said, my bad, I was distracted. And they changed it. But nonetheless, yes, please share the video and acknowledge us, just like when you turn in.
But that's not to cut you off. She needs to acknowledge you, not just for your credit, because you are a wealth. You get what I'm saying? You're like a whale full of water of that. Why just take that one piece, give it to the people and say, oh, look at cool. Look what I showed. Give me views and likes. No, let them know where that came from so they can come back and get some more. Just like when I write my books, look, I went back and rewrote the Blue Bible twice. You know why? Because I had to put the sightings. I'm not used to that. I'm used to just sitting there smoking my weed, just, oh, yeah, I know this, I know that. I had to go back and be professional and put where I got each piece of information from so my people reading it can do the same thing. Instead of me just being selfish saying, I got all the information. The dude who I reference the information to may get something better from it than me. Let him know where you got it from.
Yes.
This is how we stand on each other's shoulders. A lot of people don't want to let you stand on their shoulders because they scared you're going to see further than them. Jason, if I stand on your shoulders, I might see something you don't see. You don't want that. Right?
And that's how we do
it. But you understand, when we look at these other groups of people that we jealous of and mad, why they get to do, why they get to do, why he do this, why he do that? Because they working together.
Yes. There you go.
You feel me? Now let me read this. I want to read out the Blue Bible. Let me see if I can put some up here. Somebody had put, how can I get the book? I have a website. I'll leave the link with my brother. You can put it in the description. Also, I'm not shy, y'all. And I don't really like the way that we're making the technology tear us apart. I hate the fact that we're in a time of extreme technology and people be acting like they can't find each other. How I reach you. So here goes my number. If you like anything we said, just text my phone and say, good job. We don't got to talk. But let's have some human interaction, for God's sake. You sitting behind the screen acting like I'm some type of celebrity or something. Text my thing and put, what's up with you, player? Go ahead, man. Ain't no big thing. Ain't nobody scared around here. And for sure, you got to worry about me. I ain't going to blow you up. I got to. I'm researching too much, okay? But anyway, hit the line directly. I'll get it straight to you. Or like I said, I'll leave the link. You can go to the website. But I like dealing with people directly. I can let you know what's going on, new stuff, all that, send you bills. But anyway, page 99 of the Blue Bible. Just like Egypt is the area around the north of the Nile River in Africa, settlers named South Illinois Little Egypt, the area around the north of the Mississippi River in America. In fact, from here, the camel originated 2 million years ago. It traveled and developed 2 humps on its way to the Nile River. 2 humps, not one. Attention. That one hump one, that's a cloned one, basically. In the past, the river was surrounded by pyramids. The masons responsible for said pyramids mounds were the family name Ouachita. Their capital was Poverty Point, Louisiana, like he's been trying to tell y'all the whole time. Their family built pyramids called mountains all throughout the Americas, from Peru to Canada. History attempts to erase the legacy of the Ouachita by calling their kings and nations chiefs and tribes. The name itself was, remember I was talking about the language? Mm-hmm. So think about this, and you know this because you teach the same thing. You notice whenever we talk about our ancestors here that did great imperial things, we say chiefs and tribes. When we talk about them devils, we call them kings and empires and kingdoms. And sometimes we do this without even noticing it. And we use the cuss words to replace it, them damn devils. No, let's just change our verbiage a little bit. Let's just be a little more aware. So like I said in the book, their kings, they erase the legacy. I didn't say they erased the tribe. They erased the legacy of the Ouachita by calling their kings and nations chiefs and tribes. The name itself was replaced with the surnames Washington and the title Choctaw. The United States teaches that its first president, George Washington, gave the name to our ancestors by way of slavery. This is a dangerous lie used to detach the original people from their own land. We are denied our birthrights by way of this sort of technology and paper genocide. The truth is, George Washington paid large sums of money to the Berber rulers of North Africa for the privilege to form the United States of Al-Maraka. I reference the U.S. Tripoli Treaty, 1796, November 4th, the receipt. The Pilgrims married into our tribes. This was the point I wanted to get to, what Jason was pushing on y'all. These are our rituals. They know them because they married into our tribes and adopted our names. Genetically, this changed our appearance. And politically, it changed our way of life. War became prevalent amongst the white immigrants and black natives of North America whenever we mixed. Another popular lie is that all people labeled black in the U.S. are descendants of African slaves. In actuality, 66.6% of the Caucasians imported by the Freemasons to create the United States were slaves from Africa. Now, I just wanted to show PowerPoint while I was reading about that. You can do your thing. In Europe, they had no land, property, or birthrights. When they arrived in America, they were taught to speak English, practice Christianity, and identify as white. They eventually settled in the Appalachian Mountains, where they became hillbillies. They adopted the flag and ways of the original people, at which point they earned the name redneck, and they inherited our Confederate flag. But they are descendants of a slave people. That's how you know they got all that from us. They didn't have a flag. They didn't have a language. They didn't have a name. You just don't believe that. You've been brainwashed so much. You're like, the master didn't have a name? Man, this dude sounds crazy. He sounds drunk, high, and retarded. The master didn't have a flag? Yes. Facts. That's why he's sitting in the stands now, just watching. Look how brainwashed we are. How is the person watching the master? The master is not the person performing? Right? To master something, don't you got to do it? See what I'm saying? So we got to reprogram ourselves. Stop honoring the watchers and honor the doers, the hard workers. Because that's what got us not working now. Them slave masters then convinced us to think that hard work is like bum stuff. Like that's all, I don't do all that. You know what I mean? You hear the language now, like, I don't do that. I'm a boss. You a slave. If you don't know how to build a home for yourself, and the Mexican does, you ain't a boss. He's not a worker. He's the boss. He can say right now, I'm not building you a house. What you gonna do? So we gotta reprogram, get out that slave master slave mentality.
Well, even the Harvard professor says the black began his career in America not as a slave, but as a master.
Come on.
So that's interesting. So yeah, anything else to add to the show while we start closing it out?
Oh, just tap in with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad for you to have me here. Mason Elm Street. He got the Matrix University, books on deck. Tap in. Me right here. I got the Black Illuminati, books on deck. I even got a thing called the Secret Library. So for all my researchers out there, tap in. We got things like, it ain't just about books, because sometimes just sitting around endlessly reading ain't gonna cut it. We got court cases. We got you know what I mean, letters, different things, just different information. Maybe you got a topic you into. Tap in with me. Your budget don't matter. We working with everything from $5 to $30 to $50. You know, whatever you're trying to do, tap in. We got books we send to other countries. We got to sponsor a kid where you may tap in and want to buy something and see a kid get it. We'll go find the kid, give it to them, like all that. So the secret library is open. I'm constantly getting people in there, getting them information. And, you know, we got our books on deck and we have the content, and it's imperative. Keyword imperative. You know what I'm saying? Show them the book. It's imperative that you spread the word. If you're watching this, you're saying stuff in your head like, man, how do we get more viewers, man? How do we get more people on this? How do I get this? You're the answer. That was the point of creating social media. So you can interact too. You can share this link. You can send this link to people. You can tap in, buy more of the merch and the products so they can help us put money into it and get it further out there. Participate though. Write down the number again. Hit me directly. Tap in. We could talk. We could figure it out. But whatever you do, don't leave this video and just go to sleep and be like, I wish things would change. Don't want better, do better.
Because we have solutions here. We have Brother Crip Jesus. He's a professor right here. When we talk about solutions as birds, Moors, and gods, you know, the ritual is now, you know, us elevating our minds with solutions. So we have a 501c3 nonprofit tax-exempt organization. You can type it in by law. We have our own virtual reality campus to where people around the world, just like they have Facebook, Instagram, in these headsets, which is going to soon be worldwide, we're going to have, and we do have, our own community. But this time we can go all around the world. There's over 100, 360-degree field trips that we can do. Also, K through 12, there's math modules, science modules for students and families. So just like our students and kids are playing video games, now there's gamification of education. I'm going to give y'all a quick demo of one of the worlds that we have here at the Matrix University, so you could see the International Space Station and how we can gamify education. And also, we'll have different rooms set up, whether it's a science lab, a history lab, with different environments where we can have the same conversations, but we'll be in virtual reality. And we'll be able to talk more about economics and taking our lectures to bringing pictures and real life conversations to the next level. And also, for those who know about the meta world and the digital world that's here, the Matrix University can create your own meta world. So what we're going to do with these meta worlds, once again, is building up our own community. We're going to have concerts inside of virtual reality, lectures inside of virtual reality. So if you need your own meta worlds built, if you want to become a member of the Matrix organization, we're a tax-exempt organization. Not only just hit us on the Cash App, but the matrixuniversity.com. But here's a quick demo of the intergalactic space station to where you can plug in and have fun with your family, students, and members of our organization. Welcome to the Matrix University Virtual Reality Campus. We're currently at the International Space Station, covering planet Earth. This is one of our modules here, where families, organizations, students, homeschool, K through 12 can come experience the gamification of education. So let's go down to the space station and let's see what the Matrix University has to offer at the International Space Station. Whoa! And here we are. So let's slow it down. So you see the planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Which one should we grab? Let's grab Venus. See. Whoa, here we come for the basketball dunk on the International Space Station. Oh! So right there, we could talk about the planets in orbit. As you see, Mercury. There you have it. That's a preview of our meta world, our metaversity. And each week and at each episode, I'll show you guys demos and I'll show you guys how you can also register. And if you guys have a headset, hit me up. You can reach me at thematrixuniversity.com, IG Jason Elm Street. You see the Cash App. What is the Matrix TV? Brother Crib Jesus. Want to end this with anything?
Peace of divine family. Nothing much. Like I said, just tap in with me, and I'll leave the link down there for you. You know, I hope to see y'all soon again in the Matrix University.
Peace and love, y'all.
Headed to the safari. Your boy is actually on the very bumper. Look.
I can speak it to the ears. For anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pop is tripping. And like you need to move out. The police is too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa. The American dream. A lot harder than it seems. Brothers banging the blocks. Sisters punching the clocks. Children's raising themselves. So they raising up hell. Who is created equal? God. I do it for my people. Jason, tell me who is God? Cause in my mind, it's all of y'all.
Safari right now. We're at the Cougar National Park. See the elephant. Close as you wanna be.
Understand where we landed. Pack the motherland.